Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marco, and I'm currently in Hong Kong, and I'm happy with this project since it gives me an opportunity to look into creative solution for some spatial problems in Hong Kong, which take root in my mind for a long time. So you can see green space is precious in the urban context of Hong Kong, and yet to me, most of them didn't function well as a respite in the city. And the chosen site is a good example for the issue. So for people who is not so familiar with Hong Kong, this is the map of Hong Kong. And the marker indicates the location of the site, which is also one of the most high dense area among other areas. The first thing about the site is surrounded by buildings 100 meters or taller in all directions, and the site suffers from lack of daylighting. You can see how the existing park is situated within the building lot and surrounded by service alleys, which are the back of house areas of the surrounding restaurants and shops. So the space within is a bit unpleasant due to the exhaust gas and with food smells and loud noises from machine and air conditioning units, and the traffic from from this traffic road. So it kind of feels like this. And the section shows how the alley and the park and the kind of bad things, their relationships. So I named the project the Urban Oasis since I want to create a space for people who live or work nearby to have an instant getaway from the city in their daily life. A place which is calming and people could experience nature within like 5 to 10 minutes walk. So the first strategy is to create like a and more enclosed park which shield or screen the unpleasant elements out of the park. And another thing is I want to introduce like a element of mystery, like within this small and very challenging site. I want to create more small space where people could wander in or get lost in this park. So more, yeah. So before talking about the layout, I want to like talk about the two main build structure which helps me to shape the space. One is the cubicle, another one is the steps. The cubicle kind of at the entrance is kind of help me enclose the garden and break down the space, and the grand step provides a more dynamic experience as a focal point or more choice of place to sit within the park. And you can see this area is people can park their bikes underneath this kind of big structure. So another thought is when I'm in the site, the feeling of being in the well, like very depressed occurs because I'm surrounded by all the tall buildings. So I'm thinking by breaking down the space, by lowering the ceiling with trees and creating smaller room with kind of partitions and plants, kind of in order to humanize the space. So yeah, you can see here is the entrance park and people come from this direction and also alley from the end. And I chose two types of plants to for the barrier and the screen. And also you can see there's a punctuation through this the end and some places along the alley to add as an indirect access to the park. So this is a longitudinal section and a sketch where people sit at next to a water feature and looking back to the entrance. You can see the cubicle features kind of visually blocking the very crowded and noisy street from the outside, and form this kind of small spaces where people have maybe one or two with their people with their friends could sit inside, have a more private area. And the kind of tree I've chosen is the Madagascar elm, where it's very architectural appearance, where kind of, I want to have a good look from the outside. So for the water feature part, you can see right in the section, and also the spaces next to it, I chose trees with a bit more thicker foliage and more lower foliage, where like a cozy sitting feeling under the tree. And when people walk to the end of the park and you can see the grand steps, I want to create a submerged feeling with some tropical plants, which is not require so much lighting. And also at the end, there's a bamboo corridor, which is the indirect access. So it's quite you get lost in the forest, or you're surrounded by a park kind of feeling. So this is the plant palette. You can see some yellow to red color, which the red color is mostly coming from the leaves in the fall, and also the shrubs in the fall and winter, and some evergreen trees with yellow flowers will be blossoming in the spring and summer, which gives the two seasonal change of color. So that pretty much sums up the design. Thank you.